I cannot unsee what I just saw. And I think I feel a bit violated, but I also think I'm okay with that. Huh. Sausage Party. Sausage Party is the latest animated movie from Seth Rogen and starring some of the funniest people in comedy, which include Seth Rogen, James Franco, Bill Hader, Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Kristen Wiig, Edward Norton, Craig Robertson, Paul Rudd, and Danny McBride, including many other people who should all feel very dirty about being a part of this movie. This movie is centered around a sausage named Frank, played by Seth Rogen, who's the most skeptical character in the entire grocery store. Basically, all the food thinks that there is some great beyond once a human, or what they consider their gods, selects them and takes them out of the grocery store. The entire movie, Frank is trying to find some type of physical proof to see if this great beyond even exists. And when he does find proof to show that the great beyond really isn't what they think it is, because, they get eaten and die, he tries to convince everybody to see things his way. He tries to ask people, how can you believe in something that you can't necessarily see or prove? So if you couldn't tell by now, this entire movie is just a massive, no punches pulled satire on organized religion. And oh man, do they give it to them. Religious people with no sense of humor are going to get offended, and not just a little bit, a lot. Now, when I first saw the Red Band trailer of this movie circulating around Facebook, I was instantly excited. I really hoped that this would be the next movie that would just cause me physical pain from laughter. I don't know about you all, but I love that feeling, alright? That weird, euphoric pain. Popstar earlier this year was the only movie that got me to genuinely laugh to the point where I could feel it. And in my opinion, we haven't really gotten anything close to that since then. So is this movie funny? Yes, absolutely. If you're a fan of Seth Rogen and his brand of comedy, you're going to thoroughly enjoy this movie. However, if you're not a fan of Seth Rogen, and you're not a fan of Seth Rogen's comedy, just know that this is essentially Seth Rogen's brain dialed up to 1,000. With that being said, the animation and the voice work in this movie were fantastic, with a lot of actors being completely unrecognizable. And as I told you before, I love it when I can't tell who is the voice behind a specific character. Edward Norton as Sammy Bagel and Bill Hader as Firewater were two actors I didn't even know were in this movie, and they were both fantastic and completely hilarious. Also, can we talk about Michael Cera, who plays Barry the Gimpy Hot Dog? I feel like he just gave us some of his best work in a long time. We haven't been really seeing Michael Cera in a lot of things lately, so hopefully this does give him some momentum. So obviously the most notable aspects of this movie have to do with the social commentary and hyper-exaggeration of stereotypes based on religion, race, and any lifestyle you can think of. Now for me, when it comes to comedy, as long as it's well executed and intelligent, nothing, and I mean nothing, is off limits. But even this movie decides to take it places where food just shouldn't venture. It feels like they made it an effort to remind their audience that they give absolutely zero about what you may think or feel. The beginning of this movie does start off really clever and really hilarious as they bluntly play on stereotypes. But halfway through, the movie does start to lose steam as they focus more on world building than the actual comedy, which granted they did do well. Seeing how all the food lives and interacts in their respective aisles as they try to tie in relevant political social commentary was really entertaining to watch. But it was so entertaining that if they would have cut out that religious satire or just subdued it a little bit and created some type of different story, it still would have been interesting and entertaining just to see these characters in this world. Sure, if they cut all that stuff out, the movie wouldn't be nearly as hilarious and offensive, but it'd still be fun and entertaining. But there are a lot of moments in this movie where it feels like they think they're being a lot funnier than they actually are. A major turnoff for me in this movie was the excessive use of swearing, which was clearly being used to cover up a lot of moments and lines that wouldn't be funny without it. At first it's hilarious, but then it grows to be really tiresome and unenjoyable as the movie goes on. The reason why certain movies such as The Wolf of Wall Street, which I absolutely love, can get away with being overly vulgar and use a lot of swearing is because they actually use it in a way that helps personify the setting, the characters, and the circumstances. But in Sausage Party, you can really feel that they're just trying to milk the gimmick of a sausage telling people to f**k off. And although this movie is supposed to be a satire, near the end it does get severely preachy for no apparent reason. They should have just left it at making fun of everything and everyone while allowing the audience to take away from it, rather than just force-feeding us an agenda at the very last minute. Now, there are two scenes in particular which I thought to be in very poor taste as they try to depict rape, and although it does highlight the issue and the stereotype, it was completely unnecessary, and it did make me feel a little bit awful because it managed to get an uncomfortable laugh out of me. You know, one of those laughs that's like, it's not funny. In the trailer, you see some of the food outside of the grocery store in some random house, and that ended up being one of the most entertaining and hilarious scenes in the movie. And I just wish they would have spent more time outside of the grocery store to help parallel the main story. Now, I do feel responsible to warn you all that the last 10 minutes or so in this movie do contain some of the most, over-the-top, jaw-dropping, weird, and ridiculous things that you'll ever see in an animated movie. My audience was losing their minds because we could not fully comprehend what the hell was happening before our eyes. And although I do appreciate being caught off guard like that because it doesn't happen often, this movie didn't just decide to cross a line. This movie decided to play hopscotch over that line on a pogo stick. It's as if they were trying to say, oh, you think we can't do that in a movie? Watch us. That's not to say that this final scene wasn't hilarious, because it was. It was childishly, inappropriately hilarious. But it's not hilarious because it's necessarily comedic gold, it's just so uncomfortable and drawn out so much longer than you're expecting, and then drawn out even more that it just keeps making it funnier the longer it goes on. You're all probably wondering what on earth I'm even talking about, so let's just say that the end of this movie is a perfect metaphor for, love and unity. Yep, that'll work. At the end of the day, although this movie didn't make me laugh as much as I wanted to, Sausage Party is one of the funniest movies of the year that really knows how to take things too far. And for all those reasons, I'm gonna give Sausage Party a 7 out of 10. Sausage Party. Have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite comedy of this year is so far, because I feel like there hasn't been enough of those. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It truly does mean a lot. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like. And if you want to stick around for some more movie reviews, hey, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.